Hi Collective, welcome to the channel. So we're tapping into this full moon energy for Leo season. This Leo full moon on the 9th is coming in very strong. I don't know what's stronger. LIONSGATE aligning in the sky. So, this gateway, this portal activating, but it's going in tandem with the full moon for Leo. Like, I realized I was labeling the full moon for the 11th of August because I was thinking a lot about my Leo child, his birthday being the 11th. Really, LIONSGATE is on 8/8 and the full moon is on the 9th. So I realized, wow, a lot of this is in tandem. A lot of what's closing out and these cycles that are completing are being like eclipsed out. Literally, like that's what's going on. And maybe for some of you, like things are going to be eliminated or removed so quickly that you don't even, that you're unaware of how fast it's going to happen. Like what I've been getting is like a lot of you are just like unaware of what even is about to go down. And that's why I've been getting this energy like a thief in the night. Like things are just happening so fast, like you can't even see or you don't even know. And maybe that's why, because it's like you're focused on something else, right? Or you've mixed something up, or you're not expecting things to be handled like they are because divine has taken over. And I've been talking a lot about that, and it's beautiful that they guided me to using the Phantom Wise Tarot. And in this deck that I've been feeling very called to be using this week, it has the Two of Swords that are being carried away by ribbons, right? And yeah, and you know, this is letting me know too about the black and white energy, about the convergence, about using light and dark and balancing that out. It's like maybe for some of you, you're really balancing like your masculinity or your femininity, whichever one that maybe you were struggling a little bit with. But now because you're becoming more balanced, you're really taking charge of control over your life. It's like when you finally let go of fear. You know, it changes things dramatically. Like if you were always fearing something, so it was always being used against you. It was always finding a way to like hinder you. And then you face that fear, all of a sudden it can't anymore. It's like if somebody's like afraid of the dark, for instance, then anybody could shut off the lights or, you know what I mean? Or scare someone to shut a door or whatever with fear. But all of a sudden, if they're not afraid of the fear anymore, everybody can shut every door, shut every light off. And what is it going to do to you anymore? Do you know what I mean? So it's that energy, and fear is such a big thing, right? Way more than just the lights, right? A lot of people fear a lot of things, right? Like the lack of money, the lack of resources. One of my biggest fears that my child and my children have really challenged me a lot with is like being afraid of like standing up for myself, like, and what that would look like in this world, because we have so many different things that come into block mothers and families and stuff from being able to have control over their children, right? So like a big thing for me was always like, you know, getting my children taken away from me and things like that, always the threats of that, because that would break my heart, you know. And it was like, and I've had so many other people in this realm trying to do that to me, right? And it's very sad when people try to use children, and even if it's not like family or friends or whatever, threatening those things, like absent parents and stuff like that, trying to like threaten to take the children away. Like a lot of times that's why people will stay in relationships, marriages, situations, because they're afraid of what it would look like getting away from their partner when the other parent may threaten to take the children and things like that, right? And you know, that's what's beautiful, that we do have, you know, the justice system does make things a little bit fair, but it is, I mean, every situation, every case is a bit different, but they do really look at, you know, the child too, opposed to just the parents, right? And trying to find the best way, because they know that like psychologically what that'll do to a child to not have its parent, right, absent in the child's life. Like I firsthand have got to see how detrimental it has been, even with all of the drama, especially because it's like my children's fathers, they were very not capable of taking care of children, so they were not they couldn't even take care of themselves, right? So the way that they were being very narcissistic and stuff to them, that I felt it would be more detrimental having them in their lives. But I got to see the conditions of what it did them not being there. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, it almost would have been better just if I would have forced them to be there, for them to get to firsthand see how they were, instead of them having the mindset, you know, because she didn't force my dads to be there, you know, then they're struggling with the trauma of not feeling loved, feeling unlovable and all of that. Instead, it's like, it would have been better to have their fathers there and mistreat them and be mean to them, just for, you know what I mean? Because it would have taught them to be strong enough to be able to know, like, whoa, I'm going to love myself whether you do or not. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of goes either way. I mean, that's something to look at. I mean, and even, I mean, I'm not saying like it's not okay for like children to get abused. Like, if there's a parent that abuses a child, then no, they shouldn't be. And I've went through that too, right? Where I've had to go through, right, the court system and everything, where my one of my children's fathers was abusive and stuff. So I went through the supervised visits through the court system and all of that, and then it starts to go to where it's unsupervised and all of that anyways, and going down that path. So I've got to experience a lot of different things, and right, and then when he was, you know, getting abused and stuff, and having to report all of that stuff, like, I get it, like, it's a lot, because, you know, the court will still issue the parent to have, you know, support of the children unsupervised. I mean, and you know what, I even had an attorney tell me once, that even like serial killers, or even killers, I shouldn't say serial killers, because I don't think that they often get paroled out, but even killers get alone time with their children in this world, like they do, right? Because they're deserving of that. And you know, because if they get rehabilitated or whatever, get out, then they've served their time. So that's why they said that it's going to be impossible for us to be able to keep this unsupervised forever. And I was like, so what do I do if my child gets physically abused? Well, if it's enough or they need to seek medical treatment, then you bring them to the hospital and you report it. And I was like, okay, wow. So yeah, so there's a lot, like, you really have to make this decision, the decisions for what's in the best interest of your child in this realm. Like, you do. You have to decide that, and whether or not it's worth fighting the court system or whatever, what you deem what will be best beneficial. But see, then you got to look at, you know what I mean, both sides. What's that doing? You know, because then on the other hand, like, you're going to have your child coming up against you and mad at you for not letting that other parent in their life, right? Or maybe that other parent being in their life and mistreating them. I'm not saying let them abuse them. I hope I'm explaining this very well. Always protect your children from getting hurt and abused. That's something that I learned. I went up against the courts, you know what I mean, to show that I was protecting my child, right? And I won. So there are, you know what I mean? I don't lose all faith and hope, but they have to look at every case differently. And that's something too, if you can prove just one case where it was ruled upon in a certain way, then it's going to get ruled upon in your favor. It's all about strong case law and all of that. There's so much, because there's so many different cases and stuff. So I've learned a lot in this experience, right? But it showed me a lot. I don't know why all this is coming. Well, family is very heavily on my mind right now, so I just wanted to get into pulling this energy. But everything that I talk about is for a reason, especially all of the experiences and everything that I go through. It's to help others, right? And that's something, as me being a divine messenger, that I've always known, that I'm always going to align with people that are experiencing similar things as we are, in a vibrationally earthly plane, where we always energetically align with others anyways, the vibration. So because this is my vibration and this is what I'm putting off, these are the energies that I'm going to attract, right? So if you feel that I'm talking about something that's not fitting for you, then leave it out, right? And especially, I feel it's important to say, especially those of you that watch me every day, right? Like, I could be right on alignment with your energy, but then one day I may talk about something that's not for you, and that's okay. Just be here for the vibe and the energy, you know what I mean? But don't always take everything, and not just with me, with any reader or anybody that you connect with or watch. It's not always going to be 100% about you, right? Because sometimes somebody else may heavily need some, like sometimes I'll feel really called to talk about something or put together energy for something, and I know that that's for somebody that is really needing help at this time. Like sometimes I'm like aware, like, yeah, this isn't my energy at all, but normally I'm getting on sharing my energy to help others, but I'm like, yep, I'm being guided today to help a certain individual. And that's what I mean, is sometimes it's literally maybe the content that I'm creating or putting out is for one individual, and that might not be for you that day, but I get it, you know what I mean? When you're connecting with somebody, right, you love feeling their energy, and especially if you love their content, their style, what they're putting out, like it gets exciting. Like I have certain readers and certain energies that I connect with on the daily, but sometimes I just sit in and I know that, yeah, this is definitely for some other people or whatever. But anyway, I feel they explain that. Like you'll know if something is for you, if it's not for you. Take whatever you feel is for you. So anyway, like especially like I talk a lot about I give a lot of guidance for my mama bears out there and stuff that are definitely struggling in this earthly plane. But at the end of the day, like no matter what is going on, you have to check in with yourself and what you feel is like the best thing to do for you at that moment, right? Especially when you have like multiple children. Like there's a lot of times where I've been challenged a lot in this realm, like what is the best decision to make? I mean, I know I'm struggling with one child, but I have 3 others. You know, I have 4 children that I have to think about the best interest for them, what's safe for them, what's secure for them. And I know that that has impacted a lot of my decisions too, whether they realize it or not, is a lot of times that I've looked at them. And I know for a while, like I always put my children up on a pedestal before myself years ago, right? And I was always like, well, if they're being taken care of, if they have everything that they need in all of this, then I'm happy. But I didn't realize I was putting my own self-worth, my own power down. And then I got to where my children that I had up on the pedestal were walking all over me and taking advantage of me and just expecting me to do every single thing for them and to give up everything that I had for them, that was putting my worth down, which was allowing others to, which was actually limiting and hindering what I could do for them, because my love was being so depleted, because I was being walked all over them by their fathers, by everybody, and nobody was there standing up for me. So I had to start building myself back up, loving myself, raising myself back up, right? And it took me a lot to get into my masculinity energy, balancing that out so I could be more loving and more protective and more providing for them, right? So there's all these little things that test you and challenge you to get into a balance. All right, so now let's get back into the readings. Like I said, I've been feeling a very balanced state with this black and white energy, this duality, this masculine and femininity. Like I'm getting for some of you, like you really are balancing out. You're learning how to be more protective, right? Or more loving and caring, whichever side you feel that you're needing to be more in. So let's see what the cards are. Oh yeah, look, the Empress is coming out. See, the Empress, she attracts everything that she deserves and desires right to her. You know how beautiful it is to be the Empress, because you're embodying all 4 queen archetypes, right? Which means you've had to learn how to defend yourself. And to me, to get to the Empress, you've had to learn the duality of both sides. You've had to learn how to be the Queen of Swords upright and reversed. You've had to learn how to be the Queen of Cups upright and reversed. You've had to balance each one of those queens to become this Empress, because you will always embody the shadow side, the light side, depending on your energetic frequency, depending on, and for some of you it has to do with certain individuals, certain experiences that you've been enduring, right? Certain people can flip you in and out of those energies, right? And that's something that maybe you're learning with, that you needed to learn with that Queen of Swords energy, who to cut off, who to get out of your energetic field. You're starting to realize that yes, certain energies and certain individuals can have you be reversed, and you know what I mean? Like you, like for instance, like you could be very loving and caring and kind, and you're in this beautiful Queen of Cups energy and you're giving love to everybody, and then all of a sudden you got somebody that attracts you, that comes in, that seeks to destroy you and cause havoc and starts coming at you and starts to deteriorate you and starts to do all of these things. And then all of a sudden, if you're vulnerable and you're not able to defend yourself because you don't got that Queen of Swords energy and learn how to cut them off and be like, you know what, get out of my space, get the hell out, walk the fuck on, or whatever, however you feel that you need to cut them off, they're going to be poisoning you. They're going to be stealing your love and light. And then what's going to happen is she starts to fade, right? And then she starts to become bitter, and then, you know what I mean? And starts to become the reverse. So yes, you can literally have one individual that can come in, that can be like an energy vamp, that can literally come in, siphon that energy, try to flip and reverse you. And that's what a lot of the entities, a lot of the demonic forces will do. And yes, they can very much come in the skies of children, right? Because a lot of the children have been getting infiltrated by these demonic forces, these entities. They're getting through them through the game systems, through the phones, through friends, through indoctrination, through the school system, through all sorts of stuff, right? It's heavily, right? Which is one of the main reasons too why I came here on mission work as well, to help our children. So, you know, it doesn't surprise me that mine would heavily be attacked, to show me exactly how they get attacked, how they get infiltrated, and what's going on here. All right, let's get back into the cards. So the King of Pentacles just came out on top of that Empress. So this Empress is attracting a King of Pentacles figure. The King of Pentacles is a provider. I'm at 15%. Okay. Sometimes my videos just click off, so I'm like, what's going on here? Something with 15, though. I seen 15%. I realized I'm at 1551. So there's something with the 5s, and 1555 stood out to me. So sorry if you hear my children getting loud in the background right now. So, shh. 555 is coming out. Major changes, advancement are coming in. Maybe there's a King of Pentacles that's coming in. Okay, a provider. You know, King of Pentacles is a business, a strong businessman. Could be someone that, I heard has an empire. Or an enterprise. Wow. But a King of Pentacles is like a provider, a businessman. It's very secure. I heard very loyal. Ooh. There's some coming in. So the Empress attracts everything that she deserves and desires right to her. She knows her worth. She knows how to defend it. There's also a King of Swords coming out here. So there's two kings coming out, and there's a choice. Ooh, Two of Pentacles. So an Empress has a choice between two kings. Okay, 10 of Cups. And this has to do with her happiness, her family. And the 10 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles. Second time I've seen the 5 of Pentacles, yeah. There's something coming out. See, for some of you, maybe you've gotten out of the lack, poverty mindset. Maybe you realize that somebody was putting you in this energy. 10 of Swords, or this was a cycle. You know, sometimes everybody gets tested. That's why I said everybody will experience both sides of the wheel. That's why you will often hear the ones that are in the 10 of Pentacles energy, that have it all and have everything. If you hear their stories, what do they often tell you? That they were broke. They had times where they were eating food out of cans. That's all they had, or that they experienced homelessness or didn't have a job or whatever. Like, everybody has that. And if the ones that have the highest timeline haven't experienced that yet, well, you're going to see the fall of that for them to experience that, because you won't be able to sustain that frequency without having experienced the other, because of this duality. Like, we really do experience all sides, whether you realize it or not. So what I'm getting here is there's this energy with the 5 of Pentacles and the 10 of Swords. Like, this cycle is now completing. Now what happens though is a lot of people will get stuck. Like, if you get stuck in the 5 of Pentacles frequency, if you go to that pity me mindset, the pity me, where you're like, poor me, look at me struggling and not having everything, and then you can stay in that. If you don't want to accept that you have to accept the energy, the frequency, what you're experiencing, and be humble. Like, when you can be okay with being in the 5 of Pentacles energy, when you realize that, yep, I'm experiencing this just like all the others. Like, when you start to realize that